Hello, buddy. Welcome to a tropical update here. This is the wide view of the Atlantic right now. Only one thing to uh, note here, and that, of course, is Hurricane ETA, which made a 140-mile-per-hour Category 4 landfall over Nicaragua earlier today. Fortunately, did not become a Category 5, but nonetheless, a Category 4 storm is nothing to scoff at here. And parts of Nicaragua are probably going to be really heavily and seriously damaged here. For those that especially went through the eyewall here with this hurricane here for hours on end here, unfortunately. I'll kind of fear to see what damage comes out of the areas that got hardest hit by the strong winds of this hurricane here. Not to mention also there is a lot of flash flooding and rainfall, heavy rainfall occurring with the storm up to I think 3 or 4 feet equivalent of rainfall is expected from this hurricane here. I'm not too sure how much has fallen already, but that's what's forecast, and also I believe storm surge over 20 feet was also forecast from this hurricane too. And here's the key messages from the National Hurricane Center here before I go to the cone. This is the English version right here. If I want to stop the video right now and read that. And here's Spanish as well that you saw just a little bit ago. If I want to stop the video right now and read that too. Here's the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center as of 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, advisory 14. The center of Hurricane ETA is currently located at 13.8 degrees north, 84.0 degrees west. Maximum steady moment winds at 105 miles per hour, which of course makes this a Category 2 equivalent storm on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Moving due west at 6 miles per hour, and it's forecast to continue weakening here as it goes inland over in Nicaragua and eventually over Honduras here. And weaken down to a tropical depression strength storm, and then eventually perhaps re-emerge back over the Caribbean Sea here and start to re-intensify as it goes over Cuba, and eventually it looks like perhaps over South Florida here. And then at that last forecast point there as of 7 p.m. Sunday there, as you can see, the National Hurricane Center have this as a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm near in Florida. So there's something to really keep a close eye on here over the next couple of days as the situation progresses. So just please keep a close eye on the potential for this storm to redevelop here back into a tropical strength storm after it goes inland here over the over part of Central America. And here's satellite imagery of the storm right now, and you can see as it's made landfall there, and as it starts to weaken now, of course, inland over Nicaragua, and then forecast to go over Honduras here before eventually re-emerging back over the Caribbean here and potentially redeveloping back up to a tropical storm strength system here, I should say. And here's water vapor imagery as well of the hurricane, and you get to see how it's progressed over the past 3 hours there as it made landfall and eventually heading inland. On the Eastern Pacific, take a quick look at tropical storm. How do you say it again? Odell, I believe is what it's called. This is the current forecast cone for it. Forecast perhaps slightly intensify here overnight, and perhaps strengthen to a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm before eventually dissipating by the looks of it by around 5 p.m. Saturday, moving west-northwest at 15 miles per hour, and it's fortunately forecast to stay out to sea, threatening nobody except maybe any marine interest or boaters to happen to be in the immediate area where the storm is. So fortunately no threat for anybody along the coast here or anybody inland here. Really fortunate on that point. That part here. And here's satellite imagery of the storm right now, and you can see just how disorganized it is. That's close-up infrared. And here's water vapor imagery of the storm right now. You can see just a fairly, kind of broad, not really good, picturesque-looking tropical cyclone here, which is of course a good thing. And then switching basins, here's a look at Tropical Storm 23W, also known as Goni, and also Tropical Storm 23W, also known as Atsani, which is still ongoing in the Western Pacific right now. Let's take a close-up look at Tropical Storm Goni here, which has 35-knot winds, which is about, I believe, 40 miles per hour, and forecast to maintain that intensity here for about the next 12 hours before eventually continuing to weaken, and looks like make landfall either as a very weak tropical depression and probably remnant system over Vietnam. Looks like on the 6th or not the 6th, on the 6th or 15th there of November, by the looks of it on this forecast cone. And here's a look at the satellite imagery of the storm right now, and you can see how it's progressed through the past 3 hours. It had a really nice blow-up of convection just west of the center of circulation. The center is right about here. It had a really nice flare-up of a little over 90 degrees Celsius cloud tops there before it eventually subsided there in the last few frames. They can really see those little white splotches there in this water vapor imagery. That's indicative of at least 90 degrees Celsius cloud tops there. So really, for a really brief moment there, had a really potent cloud tops there. But again, this is a sheared system at this point. Now they no longer a 170 knot, 195 mile per hour Category 5 super typhoon. This is nowhere near that at this point. This, of course, is a weak tropical storm and forecast to continue weakening here past the next 12 hours or so. And here's the next storm here to watch, Tropical Storm 23W, also known as Atsani. 35 knot system at this point with about 40 miles per hour, same like it was with that Tropical Storm Goni. This one, however, is forecast to strengthen up to a 55 knot tropical storm, no longer forecast to reach typhoon status anymore, but forecast to intensify nonetheless up to a 55 knot tropical storm, which is, I believe, is about 65 miles per hour, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of an upper end tropical storm as it passes through. Looks like as it passes through between Taiwan and northern Luzon and the Philippines there, and eventually take a sharp turn to the southwest here, unfortunately threatening parts of Vietnam there, perhaps as a weak tropical depression and perhaps remnant system there. Looks like on around November 9th there on this forecast cone. Here's satellite imagery of the storm right now, and you can see just how it's progressed through the past 3 hours here. A really kind of, I guess, disheveled storm here, for lack of a better term, and doesn't really look like it's trying to get going, fortunately, here for the most part. Not to say it can't strengthen, of course. The Joint Typhoon 1 Center forecast the storm to strengthen, but I just don't see it, of course, at this point at least, rapidly intensifying, and shouldn't be anywhere near, of course, going to strength a few days back, fortunately, with this particular scenario at least. So really good news to see the forecast continuing to show the storm peaking as a weaker storm here, but still, I would imagine this storm is still probably going to be a flooding threat for parts of Taiwan and parts of the Philippines here, depending on where rainfall ends up occurring for the most part in this storm. So there's something to keep an eye on there, of course, for you guys in the West Pacific. And that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Of course, the main thing to keep an eye on here, at least for the West Pacific side of things, keep a close eye, of course, on Tropical Storm Atsani. Not forecast to become a typhoon anymore, of course, but could be perhaps a flooding threat for parts of Taiwan or northern Philippines here, depending on how the system develops over the next 3 days. And then Tropical Storm Goni is going to continue to degrade here in appearance and intensity here past the next 12 hours, and eventually perhaps make landfall over Vietnam as a remnant or perhaps a really weak tropical depression, but still could give Vietnam maybe some scattered heavy rain or scattered showers and thunderstorms there. And of course, for the main event here, at least at this point, in Atlantic, keep a close eye on Hurricane ETA here as it progresses inland over parts of Central America here, and forecast to reemerge here within the next 3 days back over the Caribbean here, and potentially threaten Cuba and perhaps Florida here throughout the next 3 days here, as it perhaps re-intensifies here into a tropical storm force system after weakening inland here over Central America. So there's something to keep a close eye on here over the next 3 days. Have all the links down in the description below if you want to see what links that I use for this tropical update here. Feel free to check them out below for the official latest information. Again, I'm not an official meteorologist by any means. This is just my opinions here. And just my basic overview of what's currently going on in the water of the tropics. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability here. And that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update again. Hope everybody has a great day night wherever you guys are. Stay safe, of course. Have a great election night, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.